Hello, Internet and Sarah. Today I want to talk about If I Stay by Gayle Forman. It is about a 16-year-old girl named Mia, and Mia lives with her family and is a very very talented cello player, like looking into music conservatories after high school kind of level. And one day she has a snow day, so her and her family decide to go visit a friend of the family. So they'll get in the car and start to drive down the road, and they're all in a terrible accident. And from the moment of impact, Mia suddenly finds herself standing on the side of the road, and she can see her parents both laying dead in the, on the ground. And she can see her brother, and he's alive, and she can see her own body, and she is also alive. And she watches as ambulances come and declare her parents dead and take her and her brother away in separate ambulances to separate hospitals. So she follows her body to the hospital, and when she's there, she finds that she is free to roam throughout the hospital, and she follows her body as it goes through a couple of different surgeries, and she's in a coma and she's in critical condition, and she can also walk throughout the hospital, so she goes and stays with her family and friends that are waiting in the waiting room for her. And as they come in and visit her, she kind of reflects on everybody that's there and on her past, her life. So the most of the story is told in flashback, and it's very focused on the relationships she has, particularly with her parents and her brother, who her parents she knows are dead, and her brother who she's not sure where he is or what condition he's in. And then also on her best friend who shows up, and then her boyfriend, who she's very much in love with. And Adam, the boyfriend, really fall in love because they share a passion for music. And Mia's love for music is really the undercurrent of the whole story. The main plot, obviously, is in this in-between state. She gets to decide whether she wants to return to her body and deal with the aftermath of this crash, or if she wants to move on. And as we see her reflect on her relationships and her life, we see how and why she's going to make that decision. So obviously the format of this novel was a little bit different because I guess it sort of has a fantasy element to it. I always feel strange about stories that have just the slightest bit of a fantasy element, because you want to think they're realistic. Like, it deals with a lot of very real issues, her relationships and death, and if it's worth being alive when the people you love are gone, and like real life stuff. But then you have to say that it's kind of a fantasy just because she's kind of a ghost thing. Like, that's not fair. Or like books with time travel that are basically historical fiction, but they just happen to have traveled back in time. Like, I don't know, genre people. It's kind of not fair. Anyway, the one thing I like about the format is that it's laid out like each chapter is like time passing. So it starts at like 7 a.m. and then she's at the hospital and it's 9 a.m. And so the way the time passes really gives the story an appropriate sense of urgency. And for what it's worth, I personally don't think I would have made the same decision that Mia did about whether she would stay or go if it was me. I don't know what that says about me, or if that's a question one was supposed to ask themselves when they read the book. But I was surprised at the end by what she chose. But overall, it's a very heartfelt book. I definitely cried at the end. I was kind of at work a little bit too. And for what it's worth, I personally don't think I would have made the same decision that Mia did about whether she would stay or go if it was me. I don't know what that says about me, or if that's a question one was supposed to ask themselves when they read the book. But I was surprised at the end by what she chose. But overall, it's a very heartfelt book. I definitely cried at the end. I was kind of at work a little bit too. So, oops. And actually, when I was just double checking some stuff before I made this video, it turns out that there's a sequel coming out in April and a movie that is in pre-production right now. I didn't know that until right this minute, so that's exciting. So I'll definitely probably be making another video for the sequel, and maybe when the movie comes out, we'll have something to talk about then too. You should definitely read it. And I'll talk to you later.